Greetings, scale modelers, and welcome to another quick and dirty build and review. This episode, we're going to focus on the Revell 1977 Burt Reynolds Pontiac Firebird from Smokey and the Bandit. This is an official licensed version with Universal Studios and with General Motors. And this is one of those cases where you actually need to kit bash the official version to make it into what was in the movie. Okay, but also this is another example of why Revell car kits are fun to build and an outstanding value for the money compared to other car kits that I've worked with in the past. So let's get into this. Let's get a little bit of 70s car chase macho movie fun, and let's do some scale modeling.
Did you see that? They went right through our roadblock.
You some bitches couldn't close an umbrella.
You are looking at the easiest decal of the whole bunch. And I think you know when you're getting into this that this is a high risk, high reward proposition. You know, for example, look at that broken decal right there. That's going to stick out a bit like a sore thumb. But I have an emergency solution because I'm going to use decal 13 is a straight bar of pinstripe that should be going on the hood scoop, and that is going to get me kind of close as a repair fix for that instead of me freehanding that. Here's my engine assembly. I like that Pontiac blue. I think it's a little bit richer than the original, so it's not perfectly accurate, but good looking blue, kind of smurfy. And I just wanted to show some front engine detail. And boy, I could have painted those blades a little better, couldn't I? There we go. And then there is a hood scoop that goes into that because it's a fucking Trans Am and it's badass. And here's the interior. Detail level is good. There's Burt Reynolds' hat. And I do want to add that on Snowman's Kenworth, I didn't order it in time to build the interior, and now the interior, I'm locked out of that. But there is a 25 scale Basset Hound Fred intentionally made for kit bashes for Smokey and the Bandit on eBay or Etsy. I have just placed the T-top panels into their spots, and you can still see the evergreen canopy glue that I'm using. Perfect use for a canopy glue that works for all the clear parts. And also too, I'm putting these in now because I am going to be doing a touch-up coat because I have milky residue on my gloss black. All right, here's a quick look at the underside. These silver accents are Tamiya flat aluminum, and that main exhaust pipe probably needs to be silver, but there's too much damage and potential and extra touch-ups I'm going to have to do. So I'm just hitting these main bolt points where you see the body being bolted down to the chassis frame. I just started this 2 days ago, and this is one of the better building car kits I have worked with. And big problems I used to have that kind of drove me away from building cars was the way the interior would fit into the body. And it just never, you know, these one-piece chassis never seem to match up with the interior. And then you try to get the body over it, and it just didn't work. And this one has index pegs that go into the bottom of the interior, and so you can't get that part wrong. And I did have to widen these, and you were cringing a little bit because it felt like they were going to break off, but I had to fork these open to get the, you know, so that it would go around the engine. And the body's going to go on with 4 metal screws. And so they have obviously experienced the same bullshit that I have in the past, and they put a stop to it with metal screws. And I think that's about what it calls for. I'm in between airbrushes for the Trans Am build, and what I'm doing for the wheels, and it's working terrific, is to me a gold leaf. I diluted it with rubbing alcohol about 50-60%, so it's about 40 paint, 60 alcohol, and I just did it like a panel wash. And you see how it just works in there just right, you know, because on the box it shows silver on the outer edges and gold in the recesses. So that's how I got a nice touch on that. I'm pretty happy with it. The Revell Bandit Trans Am has T-tops, and there's going to be a gold decal that has to go on that. And I don't think the factory molding allows enough thickness to handle that decal, because I think the decal stripe is thicker than that. So I thickened mine, and I masked this off with frog tape and hit it with the Rust-Oleum gloss black paint and primer. And for the tint job, to simulate that, I'm using my Tamiya panel wash. I just fastened the body on, and the body dropped over the interior without me having to stretch it out or break anything in the process. And here are the screws. And I want to tell you that this experience, I enjoy building cars this way, because that is going to make sure that the body looks good on the chassis and the model looks the way that it's supposed to. So that's a very simple way to just make sure that you get the final look looking good, and that has made this very enjoyable. Now,
Why don't you just drop me off here? I'll catch a cab.
Too late now.
Microsol will give your decals that welded, painted on look, and on my model airplanes it does really well. But there's also something that it does, and it will pick up and move the decal, and then it will weld it to the plastic so fast that you can't even adjust it back. And that's what I'm talking about with the Microsol challenge, because I just did the entire model, and this is one fairly tricky decal job. And Microsol this time did not displace a single decal, whereas I've had model airplanes where it just wreaked havoc on the whole situation.
For your information, that ain't never been done.
I just want to take a final look at the detail on the engine, because the hood's going to stay shut for a long time. And just for the fun of it, I'm going to do it with clear blue and make it look like there's some wiper fluid in there. So that'll be like some of the snazzier builds I get to see on Max's models. And yeah, so look at this thing. Revell has really made an easy, fun to build kit that I have had good success with at a moderate skill level. So, you know, a beginner or a moderate will have fun with this thing, and the body screws together, so you can't lose. The Revell 25 scale Pontiac 1977 Firebird is a terrific building experience. On the plus side, all the positive fit, the body screws, the good-looking decals. Just minor criticism, the license plate's wrong. You can look it up. Also, too, this says Trans Am nowhere on it, and I'm looking at clips from the movie, and that car, I think, said Trans Am on it. This one doesn't. All right, so just those two minor things, and I strongly recommend rewatching this movie, because it really was a lot of fun, and it was from a simpler time in life, and this was just a riot. So this has been another quick and dirty build and review. Try out the Pontiac Trans Am by Revell, and thanks for watching.